Justice is the idea of acting with fairness and rationale, that all are provided their due. Justice is able to take a variety of forms, but ultimately, justice as a concept is one that is impossible to truly uphold. In our modern world, most systems try their hardest to create systems which ensure justice is as fair as possible. However, where there is justice, there is always injustice. The perpetrators of injustice often do so with a complete understanding of what their actions entail. But there will also be those who don't understand the significance behind their actions, or believe wholeheartedly that their actions are truly for the greater good. Hey there, I'm Spiderloft. Transformers is one of my favorite series of all time. It's one that I love and one that I grew up with. And over the years, the initial Decepticon cause is one that I feel as though I resonate with. The plight of the oppressed fighting back against the repressors. However, that cause has become unrecognizable. Now, this corruption is mostly due to Megatron's growing tyranny, something which I'll get to in his own dedicated video. Within the Decepticon faction, there is one that stands out, a Cybertronian who has had very few official releases due to the nature of his character. Today, I will be talking about the eloquent executioner of the Decepticon.
My name is Tarn.
Tarn's first appearance was in the 2005 IDW comic series More Than Meets the Eye. Tarn is the Decepticon insignia masked leader of the Decepticon Justice Division, the Decepticon execution squad tasked with hunting down and terminating certain priority targets. Tarn himself was forged as a Cybertronian known as a 0.1%er, where he had within him an innate supernatural power. Tarn isn't actually his real name. Originally, he was forged as Demas, who had the outlier ability to shut off non-sentient machinery by touching them at the cost of causing himself pain. Over time, Demas developed his ability, refining it to the point where he managed to be able to shut down machinery and Cybertronians with his voice alone. Resonating with the writings and treatises written by Megatron, he felt compelled to join the Decepticon cause, becoming a stalwart believer in the cause. Through his dedication and unwavering loyalty, alongside him being manipulated by Megatron, Demas became a member of the Decepticon Justice Division, where he would discard his identity and become the Decepticon named Tarn. The alias itself is very deliberately chosen, as he named himself after the city that Megatron hailed from. Tarn is an extreme believer in the Decepticon cause, a fanatic if you will. By being the one who runs the DJD, Tarn puts it upon himself and fellow loyalists to hunt down and exterminate any Decepticon who betrays the cause or any Autobot that has been designated as a special threat, all according to a special list of targets known as the List. The most defining aspect about Tarn's character is his complete and absolute devotion to Megatron and the Decepticon cause. Tarn is firm in his belief that the Decepticon cause is a righteous one, to the point of fanaticism. This belief is so deeply rooted that he denies to himself the wrongdoings committed by his fellow Decepticons, although entirely knowing and conscious of these wrongs. This faith and this self-induced ignorance is shown especially through his mask, which is also one of his most recognizable features. The mask itself is thought of by others to be a way for him to hide his identity or to show that undying loyalty. In actuality, Tarn wears the mask so that nobody can notice when he looks away from Decepticon atrocities. Ultimately, Tarn is a force of pure lunacy and fanaticism. His ideology stems entirely around the complete righteousness of the Decepticon cause. He is the executioner of Decepticon justice, who will stop at nothing to make sure that his fellow Cybertronians understand that the Decepticon way is the only correct way, destroying and scrapping anyone who betrays or goes against that way. However, there is another version of Tarn, one that is a very different take on the character. Tarn, the perfect Decepticon of the Cyberverse show. Now, Tarn in IDW is a madman who perpetrates some of the most horrific atrocities. This doesn't really translate well into Cyberverse, which is mostly a kids show. Instead, in Cyberverse, the character of Tarn is shown off to be a member of a mass-produced army of mindless Decepticon super soldiers. He, however, developed his own personality and granted himself a name. Appearing in the second part to the two-part series finale, Tarn only has about 30 or so minutes of screen time in the entirety of Cyberverse. In those 30 minutes, Tarn manages to cement himself as a true Decepticon, living up to that title. Throughout the episode, Tarn displays cunning and treachery, using and deceiving whoever he can in order to further his goal. Through this, he manages to ascend to the top, threatening the piece of Cybertron all in order to finish what his former leader Megatron had started. Tarn is also a highly formidable force, requiring the united power of the Autobots and Decepticons in order to take down his army of super soldiers, and even then, there is a massive struggle. Ultimately, Tarn's hubris is what gets the better of him. Gloating to the Autobots and Decepticons, once he believes he has won, Tarn gets taken by surprise and completely destroyed by Soundwave. Tarn is one of the most violent and one of the most eloquent Decepticons, fanatical believer in the Decepticon cause and the executioner of Decepticon justice. He is a character who has his own unique touch of depravity and treachery. Tarn is one of my personal favorites, alongside being a favorite across the fanbase. He's interesting and incredibly imposing in his scenes. I do wish that he was more present in Transformer media, but his appearance in Cyberverse is definitely a step in the right direction. Tarn is not justice. He is a twisted form of justice. He is a reminder of the brutality of extremists. All in all, Tarn is the false justice of the Decepticons. If you're still watching this video, thank you for your continued attention. If you enjoyed watching the video, then I implore you to subscribe to the channel with your notifications preferably turned on. I don't upload super often, so having notifications on will make sure you know whenever I do upload. I also have a Discord server, which will be linked in the description. It'll be filled with exclusive announcements and sneak peeks for upcoming videos. Now, with all that being said, I am Spiderloft, and I will be seeing you all in the next video.